It's already yours. What if I tell you that the things that you've been dreaming about, the things that you've been visualizing, basically the things that are on your mind the most are closer to your world than ever before? What if I told you that you can have the very thing that you keep thinking about every day, no matter how big, no matter how impossible it seems, it's already yours? What would be your reaction? Some of you may say, yeah, right, I don't see it. Others may say, yeah, I do believe it. I know it's coming. So let me show you what's going on. So you can see that really it's already yours. You just have to do one thing to get it. You know what that one thing is? You have to change your perception and your beliefs. If you do those two things, you will attract and receive whatever you desire. Let me break down and show you how reality works and the mind to create what we call reality. All right, lesson 101. Let's talk about the brain. Your brain is very efficient. 25% of the energy that we consume, or 25% of our energy from foods we eat, goes to power our brain. That's right. So 25% of all the energy that your body needs, your brain takes that to power it. What else about the brain? Well, the brain does not like to work hard. You know, the brain likes to work efficient. The brain likes to take the easiest path, least resistance. And that's in complement with your subconscious mind. So that's something else about the brain. What else about the brain? Well, did you know that the brain actually hallucinates our reality? In literal scientific terms, our brain creates images based on chemical receptors, electrochemical stuff. Yeah, that's right, electrochemical. So the things that we're seeing, they're actually a projection on our best view of reality. Here's something else that the brain can't about the brain. The brain can only process a finite amount of information from reality. What we call reality is existentially more complex and more immense and more infinite than we can imagine. So our brains is just tapping into a small portion of things. That's very important to get what you want or to have what's already yours. So now let's move to thoughts. So a thought in its basic form is a raw material. In other words, when a thought comes in, it has no power yet. A thought is just information. So in order to create or power information, it needs something from us. It needs our attention, our perception. Your attention to your thoughts or your focus drives energy. Energy is what creates and manifests our reality. So when I say it's already yours, you have right now a powerful mechanism at your hand and you aren't even aware of it. Your brain, your mind, the things that you think about, the things that you focus on, they are looking for one thing. They're all fighting for your attention. Let me show you something. When we have thoughts, we always follow up with a positive thought because it makes us feel good. But if you ever notice, that positive thought will come with a rebuttal thought or a critic thought, the critic. That would be the ego, right? So when you have a positive mindset or a positive thought, you usually get some sort of rebuttal saying that, well, how are we going to do it? How is it going to happen? What's the means? How, when, why, right? Those are the rebuttal thoughts. Now, here's something that you must understand now. You have to be the observer of the observed. You have to observe those two thoughts because they're doing one thing. They're fighting for your attention. So let's say you have these two thoughts. Let's use an example. Let's say you have a positive thought about maybe a new business or moving into a new home. So you're thinking of that thought. Then all of a sudden that rebuttal comes up, right? Well, how are you going to get the home? How are you going to pay for it? You know, you can't do this business. So here's the critical point now. Here's where I talk about your perception and your belief now to make this yours. At that point, you have a choice. You either can give one of those two thoughts your attention. If you give the positive thought your attention, now it starts to gain energy, and that's when it starts to create. If you give the negative thought your attention, same thing happens. So see that? Thoughts are always fighting for your attention. So you have to decide where you want to put your attention. Your attention is your energy to create reality. Now let's go back to the brain, and I talked about the brain, right? How efficient it is. So here's something interesting that happens. So let's say now that every thought that comes in, or you create this positive thought of this new home or business, or maybe a soulmate, or just wealth and health, and you constantly think about that, right? Something interesting happens now. The brain now will start to create a map. Now the brain says, wait a minute, I want to make things easy and efficient. So the brain now starts to really focus on the positive thought because it sees that's what you're giving your attention. So the brain now will be efficient. It starts to cut that rebuttal from coming in. See that? The brain doesn't want to do two things. It doesn't want to process a positive and a negative thought at the same time. It's too much energy. Remember, it likes to work smarter, not harder. So what it's going to do, it's going to pick which one is given more attention. So, brain might say, so he likes thinking about this. You know what? That negative guy keeps coming. He's not paying him any attention. So let's erase that part, and let's just fuse our neurons to be more positive so that we can get things. Now, that's when you will notice that the negative thoughts will start to slowly, the rebuttals will start to slowly not come. Before you know it, your mind is more focused on the positive stuff, or those high energy thoughts. All right, now, so, okay, good. So how's that mind? How's these things already mine? Well, here's something that you need to know. So once you start to focus on these thoughts, right? Here's what happens now. We go into quantum mechanics here. So behind those thoughts, are the components of those thoughts, are basically energy. Okay, and these energy, they have some resonance. They're always moving. When they move, they give off what we call a vibration or a frequency. So when these energy move, and by the way, these energy are what we call matter, real stuff. The reason you don't experience them right away is because the mind has what we call some sort of time delay. The mind, you can't manifest things instantly. It doesn't work. If you manifest stuff instantly, you can actually hurt yourself. So the mind has what we call a feedback loop to protect you, to make sure, hey, is this what you want? Think about it. If you can manifest stuff instantly, that means everything we think about actually comes into reality. And guess what? We think about more negative stuff than positive stuff overall. So imagine all these negative stuff coming in your reality. It wouldn't be good. So the brain doesn't work that way. The mind works with repetition. It wants to make sure you're sure that's what you want. So let's say you now focus on these things. At the atomic or quantum level, they're already yours. That's right. So the things that you want are really already yours. All you have to do is keep your attention and your perception on it. Now, here's something interesting about attention and perception. Your attention or your perception is going to lead to what's called your belief. Now your beliefs will change, and that's going to your subconscious mind. When your beliefs change, this is where the good thing comes in. Now the reality will start to come. In other words, that very thing that you've been thinking about, focusing on, one day, boom, it's yours. See? It's already yours. But even before you received it, it was already yours. It was just in a different form. Energy is the same. It just changes to different forms, but it's the same component. It's just a different form of the same thing. For example, water. You could have water in liquid, mist, right? Or solid, frozen. But what is it? It's still water. So your house, the car, the job you want, the person you want to attract, the situation, it's already yours, just in a different form. You really have to get this, because this is going to propel you to keep your focus to manifest it. So this is how the universe works. Isn't that miraculous? Isn't that marvelous? So what can I learn from this? What can you learn from this? Well, here's what you can learn. I've just given you some excellent tools to show you how to deliberately create reality. Very simple. Choose something that you desire. Focus on that something you desire. Change your perception. Now it changes your belief. What else you learn? Oh, thoughts always fight for attention, for energy. They want to create. So focus on the thing that you want the most. The thing that you don't want, just don't think about it. Your brain now will be efficient. The brain will now wire and map what your repetition is, and it will automatically erase or slow down that negative or bad thought. If you can do that, you're on your way to having what is already yours.